Okay, hi, it's Pete Reed and welcome back. The first video we actually created in this Twitter series was where we actually first created our Twitter account. And what we did was we had a quick look at how we can create an account, how we can actually find the initial followers to people to follow on the account. And indeed, we've now attracted one follower and I have successfully sent one tweet. And presumably that one follower is very, very happy to have received that one tweet as well. Now, let's actually go through and have a look at some of the other bits and pieces that we actually get on our opening screen. So the first thing we do is we get the home button. Now the home button brings us back to this screen. Now notice that little blue dot there. That little blue dot is to tell us that there are more tweets. And here we can actually see that it says view 3 new tweets. So if I click on home, it will show me those three new tweets. So as you can see, we've now got something from DCMS, found how you can benefit from having superfast broadband, something from Sky News, and the Daily Express and the Guardian. So as we can see, there's various people who are sending information out. Now, next to there, we've actually got notifications, and this is where we would receive any notifications. The notification we've received at the moment is to say that CFO Zone is following us, and that's the only notification we've got. Messages would show us if we've got any messages, and as you can see, there are no private messages as yet, so clicking across will bring us back to here. Discover will show us other things that may be of interest to us, and what's happening now is tailored for us. So as you can see, Twitter thinks that I'm interested in monkeys, water, strange pictures, cartoon characters and nuts. Well, I don't think Twitter has necessarily got that high an opinion of me as yet. Okay, over across this side we've got the search Twitter, where we can search for things that are of interest to us. So for example, if I wanted to search for epilepsy, I could search for epilepsy and I can see the various things that's happening inside of epilepsy. And so I can actually go and check and see if there's anything on here that's particularly interesting. I can wander down. Epilepsy action. Yeah, I'm going to click onto epilepsy action, and then here I can follow epilepsy action. So again, I can go using the search bar to find things that are of interest to me. So here I am back at the top here, and I can empty that, or I could just click on the home bar to take us back to the home button. Okay, moving across then. Here I've then got this little picture of my profile picture, and it says profile and settings underneath. If I click onto it, then I can go first of all and view my profile. So here, as you can see, this is my profile. There is my first tweet, and it was my first tweet. See, imagination is a great strength of mine. What I want to do here then is I can go and actually start to edit my profile. So I've clicked onto edit my profile, and as you can see right at the top, it's quite keen that I add a header photo. So I've got a photograph I can use, so I'm going to click onto header photo and I'm going to click on an image and then apply. And so there I've now got a header photo. Save the changes, and there we can see. Now if anybody's particularly interested, that image was about 850 pixels by about 300 pixels, that sort of size, and it's actually the lake where we walk the dog. Okay, the next thing we can do is I can go back into edit my profile, and then down here it asks me for a bio. Now it is a good idea to have some sort of a bio, so if I put in here something like social media trainer and coach, there we go. Underneath there I can put in a location to say where I am. So I'm in Staffordshire, in the Midlands, in the UK. And then I could also put in there a website, www.askpeteaquestion.co.uk, and I could also choose a theme colour. I am not that particularly bothered about what colour it is, so I'm just going to save the changes at that point. And now, as you can see, I've now got my background at the top. I've got my Twitter image here, and I've got a little bit of bio here. Now, the good thing about using a bio and using a strong image is that when people have a look and see who it is that's saying things, that's what they will see. And from that information, they will choose whether they want to follow you or not. So therefore, if you don't have a bio and you're trying to attract new followers, you're going to have a much more difficult job. A bio should ideally be intriguing, it should be honest, it should be inviting to get people to follow you. Let's click back upon the profile image here. Here we've got lists. Now, a list allows us to maintain a list of people. So for example, I could have a list of organizations or whatever. So if I was to say I wanted to create a list, I could create a new list and I could call it, I don't know, celebs. And what this would do, it would allow me to identify lots of celebs where I wanted to see their tweets, but I didn't actually want people to see that I was following them celebs. So if I was a closet Madonna fan or Lulu or any other sort of popular singer, then I could actually have their names inside of my list, and then I could actually create that list. However, it's also useful for if I want to create a list of voluntary sector organisations, for example, and therefore I can actually have those. Again, if I click underneath here, then I've got help, and I've got settings, and settings is the next one. Now, settings allows me to go in and I can change my username if I wanted to. So your username can be changed in Twitter. Here I could change my email address, I can change the language that I'm using, my time zone, the United Kingdom. Here I've got do not inform me before showing me that may be sensitive. Well, if I click that, then it says do not inform me. I'm going to leave that. So this will actually inform me if there's anything that's sensitive, because I am a sensitive soul. I do not want to see dodgy material. So there we go, and I can look down there and save changes if I wish to. Security and privacy, don't verify login requests. Now, what actually happens here, if I say send login verification to my phone, then what would happen is, by having my phone number on the system, if my account logged in at an unusual location, or if the system decided it was unusual, then it would send me a verification to my phone to say you've just tried to log in. Now, this could actually help me if somebody else hacked my account and was starting to tweet on my behalf. So it could be a very useful little way of making sure that I can be protected. If somebody breaks into my account, I could say require personal information to reset my password. So somebody can't just log into my account out of devilment, hack my password, type a new password in and leave me locked out of my own account. Allow anyone to tag me in photos. Again, I don't have a problem with that. Some people do, in which case I would say only allow people I follow to tag me in photos, or do not allow anyone to tag me in photos. I think with my level of celebrity, it really doesn't make a blind bit of difference. Protect my tweets. What this would do is it would mean that only people who I follow, who people I've approved of, will actually be able to see my tweets. However, bear in mind that that doesn't stop them from retweeting or sending out your tweets underneath their name. So therefore, it is not a cast iron way of stopping information from getting out. Also, it should be noted that just because you've actually protected your tweets, if you say anything that is egregious to somebody else, they can still have legal recourse because you have still published that information. There may be a defence to say you didn't intend it to go to a wider audience, but you still published that information. Add a location to my tweets could allow you to actually add a location to say where you are. Again, mixed views on this. There are times when it's quite nice. So if, for example, I was down in London for the day and I was working with Twitter, then at a conference I may want to add a location to my tweets so other people I follow on Twitter could see that I was actually available in town and may want to meet up for a coffee. On the whole, I don't want to have my location noted, so therefore I don't tend to turn that on. Let others find me by my email address. Again, if somebody knows my email address, they can type it in and they find me on Twitter. That's not a problem. Allow anyone to add me to their team. Again, the idea is that in an organization, you can invite anyone to tweet from a team account. So therefore, if you're setting this up as a community organization, you could have 3 or 4 members of the organization who are part of this team to be able to tweet underneath the same account. So again, that can be quite a useful little feature. Okay, password allows us to change our passwords. Cards and shipping, you can now buy through Twitter. Order history is what you bought through Twitter. Mobile. Now, mobile is where you can enter your mobile number. Again, this can be very useful, especially if you're going to use the Twitter app. So again, I would tend to put my mobile number in there. I'm not going to do this at the moment because this is a dummy account just set up for this video. Email notifications. When I want to be emailed to say that people try to contact me or there's been any activity or whatever. Web notifications tell me when my tweets are retweeted. And again, I can actually say trailer for you or by anyone. I can choose this. Muted accounts. Now, a muted account is if somebody is tweeting a lot, then I may choose to mute their account. Now, typically, this happens if they're using auto tweets. And if they're using auto tweeting, then there are times when it can get quite, annoying if I'm getting endless tweets from the same person. So, for example, sometimes people set up an automatic tweeting service and then they get their scheduling a little bit awry, and suddenly at 6 o'clock I get 32 tweets coming from the same organisation. In that case, I would tend to mute that organisation because that is not helping me, that is annoying me. Okay. Blocking an account. I don't tend to block accounts unless I've got a specific reason to block an account. The times when I would block an account is if somebody has been abusive or if they're publishing things that I do not want to be associated with in any way, shape or form. Now, that is not to say that I don't follow people whose views I don't approve of, because indeed I think that happens a lot. However, if they were then to become offensive, they would be blocked. Design would allow me to play about with a design for the back, and as you can see at the moment I've got this sort of background image, and again I'm quite happy with that. I don't have any problems with that. Apps would allow me to have a link to apps. So for example, I could potentially link to a Facebook account, and widgets would allow me to create and manage a widget. We'll talk about widgets possibly at a later time, but it's not appropriate just at the moment. And the final button across this option here is where I can tweet, and this is where I can send out more tweets. So my second tweet and tweet away. And so there it is. I've now created a Twitter account. We've been through and looked at all of the different settings. We've created our tweets, and we've now seen all of the buttons that's available to us. The final thing I should do is just run through some of these options underneath here. So here, for example, we've got solar could reduce your bills. Now here I've got that's promoted by Better Energy, so I'm not going to retweet that one. Antibiotics are faltering resistant strains of germ evolve. Right, so here I've got the option where I could reply. So I could reply back to them to say that's interesting, or yeah, we get some real nasty little germs around here. Here I've got the retweet button. Now if I click onto retweet, then it says retweet this to your followers, and again I can click onto retweet, and I've now retweeted that to my followers, although to be perfectly honest I've only got the one, so it should be rather more singular. Here I've got the favourite button that would allow me to mark this as a favourite tweet. Here then I've got more, and this would share via direct message. So if, for example, I knew somebody who was working in the field of antibiotics, I could send them this link as a direct message just to make sure that they saw it. I could embed the tweet, and that would allow me to click on that and embed that tweet into a website or a web page or wherever. Again, click on more. I could mute, so I could mute them. So I could mute anything else coming from The Economist. I could block The Economist. And indeed, I could report The Economist. So if I was a germ and feeling that they were being anti-germist, I could report that to them and then see what Google actually, sorry, not Google, and see what Twitter actually did about it. Okay, so as you can see, we've now got Twitter up and running, and it's all hot to trot. I hope that helps. Talk to you later. Cheers then.